All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Security for Philly rally and introduction to our plan. My name is Mckay. I'm the founder and president of Life Outside the Streets. Our mission is to treat trauma through arts, education, and information. The purpose of this rally, or I would like to, is more of a community briefing and introduction. It is a rally for security, however, is to make the community aware of the action plan that we have in place and that we have been developing and putting together and executing, and that we're ready to scale up. I have on the line with me some essential, vital community partners that are going to briefly introduce, the work that they're doing in the city, and also, the work that we kind of partner on, and then I'm going to roll right into going into details what Life Outside the Streets is all about. I appreciate all the support, up until this point, because we haven't really done a major formal introduction to the community. However, the community has been very receptive of the work that Life Outside the Streets does since its birth back in 2007. I myself and local family and community members have been doing it from the muscle, but now we're ready to, formally serve our community on a large scale, stop this violence and addiction, get ownership, and create a space for those that want to live peaceful, healthy, productive lives to do so. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic first to my brother. Hey, Sai, you ready, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass the mic to my brother, say Sean, that I met out at a Philly Truce rally. Shout out to Philly Truce. My brother Steve is on here. My brother Coach Tre is on here. My brother Bryan Booth is on here. But yeah, I met Sa at a Philly Truce press conference, and this brother has brought me into a fraternity that I'm gonna let him tell you guys about, and we've been rolling ever since for the past couple months. So I appreciate bro. You really gave me hope. I mean, I always had hope, but God, it's an honor that God blessed me to meet somebody from the next generation. You're about a decade younger than me, so it's really good. Just like I get a lot of that when I'm out in the community, like we glad to see the youth. So now me stepping into the elder realm, I get to have that same feeling. So without further ado, man, let the people know what you're about, man, who you are and what we got going on.
Thank you, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. Um, I'm the burning boats, just like anyone else that believes and have the mindset to strive for success no matter what. There's no turning back. The boats is burnt. And that's my job, me and my men's job. Our job is to make sure we succeed no matter what, no matter who gets in our way, no matter who or what we have to address, and no matter who we got to hold accountable. So I feel like we need to start somewhere, and I feel like this Philly for security for Philly is the perfect start. It's the perfect start because right now is the first step to pushing forward, knowing that the boats are burned, knowing that there's no turning back, and knowing that we don't have to do it alone. Because us younger people from the streets always feel like we are in it alone. So I feel like this Philly truce, this Philly security is going to show us, that we're not alone. We're reaching out, we're giving the training, we're giving the advice that the younger ones need. And just like I said, knowing that we don't have to do it alone. Now we have helped to put the streets back into order. Now we have that because you need the streets to clean the streets. We keep waiting for Congress. We keep waiting for other people to step in and help us clean our streets. No, the streets need to clean the streets. And that's what Philly security, I feel as though, could bring us together to do. Show us that together as the streets and the community, we can do this. We don't have to wait. So that's what the burning boots is more so about, putting structure to it and things like that. And like he said, we're gonna have the restorative justice training. We're gonna give the kids, and not even just the kids. It's the old, the young. We're gonna restore the communication between that and just fight together. And yeah, that's all I got.
Oh man, thanks, man. I appreciate you, bro. We a fraternity, so that was enough right there. You feel me? I really like the fact that we're building and establishing a community-based fraternity, a brotherhood, and that's the key thing is men coming together to, just develop other men and to organize to provide support and structure to our community on all cylinders. So I appreciate you, bro. Keep up the great work. And the Burning Boats is most certainly you'll hear from them every week with our recent. I mean, I'm a Burning Bros member, but you'll be hearing from somebody from the team, weekly as well. I wanna pass the mic to my brother Bryan Booth, man. I've been working with Big Picture of Philadelphia, who runs 2 schools in our city, Vaux Big Picture High School and El Centro Estudiantes, another high school, which is kind of a non-traditional high school. I'll let Booth touch on that if he may. But we came together and we developed a curriculum to reset school cultures across the city. And not only did we come together to do the work, but however, this brother Bryan Booth is committed, to the work as far as services in our community. He has a long history of fighting with us, fellas. You understand, in community. This brother as an educator in so many things. So it's an honor to work with you, Bryan. I'm gonna pass the mic to you so you can let them know what we got going on. Yeah, you're muted. If you, I bet you know that. I'm trying. So
Okay, there I am.
there we go.
Okay, I had all these screens in front of you. I couldn't find you. Okay. Okay, my contact's in the chat. Bryan Booth, 727-831-0337, bboothphd@gmail.com. If you want to donate money, you donate it to Life Outside the Streets through Mr. John Mckay if you want it tax-free. But we need money fast. We need to start the publicity. We need to start getting everything going. We need to have meetings with people. I mean, it costs money. I'm spending everything I've got. Okay, but it's going to be gone pretty soon. Okay, so I need more. Culture Reset Philly is an idea that we came up because Nasser was killed. Okay, he was a student at El Centro de Estudiantes high school in the Big Picture Philadelphia system. And Jan knew him. I didn't know him that well. And so we decided to start Culture Reset Philly. Can I share a screen, John?
Yes, sir. I'm about to do that right now. Hold on. Yep. I'm about to make you.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you got to say.
Yeah. I'm about to make you co-host right now.
Okay.
Got you.
So
you straight now. As soon as you get ready.
Okay. So this is Culture Reset Philly. And you should see it right now. Can you see it, Jan?
Yep. I can see it. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, if you can see it, they can see it. Program implementation manual. Basically, we went into depth. We've got it down pat. We've followed the change management cycle. We've talked about curriculum. It's based on the idea is that students, the high school students anyway, are adults. Okay. I was an adult when I was in high school. Yeah, I made stupid decisions. I wasn't a mature adult. I wasn't a fully informed adult. I wasn't a fully skilled adult, but I was still an adult. I made my own decisions. These guys make their own decisions. So we need to reset their culture so they're making the right decisions. The way we do that is we teach them how to make the right decisions, how to arbitrate, how to mediate. We teach them how to physically interact, how to break up a fight, how to claim their space. This is my house. This is my classroom. This is my school. This is my street. This is my city. Okay. We teach them how to do that. Okay. We model it. We take them through physical training. Okay. Just like Sashan was talking about, you learn this, you have to be taught it. So this works. Lots of schools have done this. In four months, we could totally reset a school culture, okay, to take it from war to peace. But the problem isn't schools, okay? The problem is outside the schools. So this program sets up safe havens outside the school for students coming and going to school. It sets up an active patrol program while they're leaving school, escorting them on the bus lines and everything else. Okay, this is possible and this is necessary. And then we need to extend that. We have, for 5-10 years, people have been fighting with this problem in Philadelphia. You have the solutions. Okay, the block neighborhood system. That's a tremendously powerful system. You can get that into any neighborhood. They're ready to expand. We need to get them money. Okay, it's proven that if you divert children into arts, education, camps, agriculture, life outside the streets, it works. Okay, church programs, educational programs, these all work. What we need to do is make it systematic and citywide. If it works here, it needs to work in this neighborhood.
Hey, Booth, if I may, can you talk about a little bit about the process, like the visioneering, like what is going to look like when we go into school before we close out?
Okay, yes, I can do that. If you look up there, you can see the program components. Visioneering. This is what we have to do for the city of Philadelphia. That's what Jan is doing right now. We're seeing a future without guns. Okay, we're going to present the island of Hawaii. The big island of Hawaii. There is no violence there. They don't hit each other. They sure in hell don't shoot each other. Okay. The Navajo. Okay. They're a warrior people, but they don't kill each other. They live in harmony. They live in beauty all around them. Okay. There's the number of peaceful societies way outnumber societies like ours that are violent and mean. Okay, so we give people the vision that yes, we can walk down the street in Philadelphia at 11 o'clock at night and not have to worry about nothing because it's cool.
And Booth, can you pull up the program description and I'll read that, and if anything else you want to add, but
let me just I'm gonna ask questions at the end, Jan.
Right, but I'm saying I need you to really hone in on giving them a snapshot. We want to give them a snapshot into the program more than anything during this time. You feel me? That's what we want. We want to take them on. You know how when we run through like week one, that's what we want to do.
I'm sorry. That's not where I'm going. But yes, I will do that for you.
Yeah.
But let me go back to it. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Let me get this part over with. Okay. Stop sharing. I'm going to resume a share. And I have to pull that up. I think it's right here. Yeah. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Can you see that? It's City of Philadelphia demonstration permit application. Okay. LeVan Kennedy was my student. He was born in March 2003. He died last Tuesday, March 2022, 18 years old. He was driving to school in the morning and he was shot to death on the way. This was the second student El Centro lost this year. 1% of our students have been killed. This is not allowed. This is not possible. Okay. I am sponsoring a public event. It will be a public event. It will be a newsworthy event. I guarantee you that. because I'm sorry there's a war in Ukraine. I'm sorry that officer was fired well, I'm happy he was fired for shooting that 12-year-old. I'm sorry that we took the masks off. I'm sorry there's COVID. Levan should have been front page news. A freaking student was murdered. He should have been front page news. He will be front page news. Levan lived. Okay. So I invite you to share this with everyone you know. Okay. On Thursday at 3 o'clock, we are gathering at Love Park in downtown Philadelphia. At 4 o'clock, we're going to City Hall. We're laying down a commemorative wreath. On top of that, we're putting memories of him. We're putting pictures of him. We're putting pictures of other people that have been killed, other students, okay, other loved ones, okay. I'd love it if every high school student and every family and parent showed up on Thursday and just closed down Philadelphia to start this crap off. Okay. Lord knows that Levan was a wonderful human being. He lived a complete life. Okay. We're going to blow him up. Okay. But he was a wonderful human being. He was just like you and me. And he got killed, and there's no reason for it. So people need to know that he lived. So that's what we're doing on Thursday. And I invite you all to come down with us. That's why I joined this rally today, to let you know that we're starting it this week. This week, we stop the killing. Okay. This week, all these people with money are going to start funding all these programs. This week, all these programs are going to start hiring people. This week, we're going to be writing letters to congressmen. And I mean, this week, you have to start doing it. Me and Jan didn't move fast enough. We didn't go fast enough. Y'all didn't go fast enough. Okay. Someone's going to get killed next week because we didn't go fast enough. Well, we're going now. Okay. I got a beautiful daughter. She has family in Philadelphia. She's going to grow up in Philadelphia. She ain't going to be shot. Okay. Your kids are not going to be shot. Your brothers and sisters are not going to be shot. We have to stop it now. And that means everybody join in. I'm not talking about the good people. I'm talking about the bad people too. The gangbangers need to put their guns away and pull out knives instead. Okay. You need to start doing business instead of doing war. So I'm just saying, it's snowing out. Okay. The day is changing even as we speak. So, that's what I wanted to say. Thursday, March 17th, 3 p.m. at Love Park, 4 p.m. at City Hall. Okay. You can invite me back in like 5 minutes if you want to talk about the program, Jan.
I got you. First of all,
Okay.
yes, thank you, Booth. I appreciate you. Yes, man. And the loss of Levan was definitely devastating for myself and every student. I had to step down from my job working at Vaux at the beginning of COVID because I couldn't just, be working the administrative role while waiting for my students not to be there when God has equipped us with the solution and getting out here, just like Booth said. So, hey, Coach Tre, I know you got to go. I should have let you go first, but I'm passing the mic to you right now. This brother, I met him out in the community. I'm gonna let him tell you. I'll give it. He got to go, so I'm gonna just give him let him know what we got going on, Coach Tre. What you coaching?
Peace. Now, I guess I'm the oldest one on this docket or platform. Bryan, where are you from?
I'm from Jersey. I'm 63.
Oh, okay. So you got me. So I'm a retired Philadelphia firefighter. 29 years. My father retired from the police department, had 38 years. So that's about 67 years of public service to the citizens of Philadelphia. I'm West Philadelphia born and bred. What's the brother's name with the burning boots? Sashawn.
Burning boats. We burned the boat.
Burning boats. I love it, you know, but being a firefighter, living through the gang wars. I remember when I could sleep on my porch. There was just a murder that I heard the gunshots, you know, and I counted maybe, well, I guess it went about 5 minutes before I heard the police, you know. Come to find out, it was right up the street from me on 100 block of 53rd Street, North 53rd Street, right in front of one of my former players' house, you know. Now, what we see out in these streets is nothing new. It's nothing new. But we are still using the same old tactics. The same old tactics. All right. Now, in 1975, it was Stay Alive in 75, right? And then in the 80s, I graduated from Overbrook High School in 1981. All I wanted to do was get out of school. And then I got out of school, and then next thing I know, I saw my friends, they was going to college. My sister was already at the University of Michigan. My brother was in the Air Force. And I decided, man, I want to go to college. So I ended up going to CCP, you know. And then from there, I went to Temple, and I said, well, you know, I'm home. This doesn't feel like college. So I followed my dream of my favorite basketball player was my father's best friend that graduated from Overbrook, Wilt Chamberlain. So I went out to Kansas. I never played high school ball. I played street ball. But when I was out there, I had enough skill to make it to the last cut of Larry Brown's first team, you know? So I checked that off my bucket list. But I am part of a fraternity, Omega Psi Phi fraternity, right? And I know what the bond is all about. I came home and I know how it is to be 20. I was buck wild and crazy when I came back home to Temple that I had to leave. And I went to the Air Force. I've been halfway around the world and back fighting fires and playing basketball. Came back home and I joined the fire department, right? And this is in the 90s. So you Generation Xers that were born in 97, I mean, Generation Z, this stuff was going on. This is nothing new. And the same tactics to stop it is the same ones that they tried in the 70s, in the 80s. The House of Umoja was the only tactic that worked. And what Brother Dave and Queen Sister, Queen Mother, what they did was the first thing that she did was to make you think. You have to think. There's a book that the baby boomers and pre-baby boomers, they will always talk about: think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. There's no such thing as unemployment. We're going to attack this in a whole different way. In a whole different way. We're coming with peace. They expect you to come out and march. They expect you to do all that, right? But we're going to deal with peace. What is peace? Proper education and cooperative economics. There is no such thing as unemployment. See, the problem is that we looking at other cultures, under a different mindset. We're looking at young brothers, Sashawn. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Demolition Man with
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
And
All of the
you got your meeting, Tre, but go ahead. You
oh
know.
no. Deshaun got me hyped because these young men behind me, these are my football players. See, y'all lost those students. I've lost 5 football players to gun violence. We had Bill Bethel, 2018, South Street, over at Tex. We had Danny Hayes in Chester. He was being harassed, and from what I found out, he was shot in his sleep because he defended himself earlier, right? And then after that, we had Rashid Edgefield. I had him at 5, right? The homicide detective, who's one of my frat brothers. I'm actually in Atlantic City. This was 2020. I'm actually in Atlantic City celebrating my son's mother's birthday, and I'm on a Zoom, and we're talking about how we're going to stop this violence. How are we going to change? My phone is on silent. And when we're leaving Atlantic City, I heard this unusual ring, and one of my parents was calling me up on the messenger. And when I called, I said, "What's up?" She said, "Where you been?" I said, "I was on a meeting. I'm in Atlantic City." She said, "Rashid was killed." And then I looked at my phone. I had 20 missed texts. It's my parents, right? And then I called the homicide detective, and he said, "Oh, that was one of yours?" Because he was the lead detective on it. He said, "Tre Bell, he died. He ran out of blood, running for his life," right? And then we had Nari. And then he was shot over some dispute with a friend over probably some girl. And this is one, I gotta be real. I gotta be real. There's no reason to argue over a female when you're 18, 19, and 20. You're just friends. You know, it's a rare occasion that you stay with your childhood sweetheart. Y'all gonna be friends. But we'll get back to that off the camera. Because
I do want to chime in. I work in the school, and that's very essential. Yeah, I mean, that is at the root cause of a lot of the conflict and the things that escalate. I do want to ask you, just a really, with all that being said, a big part of
I'm getting there.
I need you to really jump into the solution. Just hear me out and hear me out why. To both you and Booth, a big part of what life outside the streets is bringing with these meetings and briefings is much more time on our solution. Respectfully, we got to vent and we got to get it out, but the people is waiting for the answer, and you got it. All that. I need you to get into that for me, bro, for the sake of time.
Okay. We're going to get to the solution, because why I say we got to go back to the beginning. And why I say there's zero unemployment, because you got to know who you are. You're more than a black man. You're more than a white man. We weren't created equal. We weren't created equal. If we were created equal, we would be the same height, the same color, the same weight. But we were created equally through a sperm and an egg inside of the vessel of the queen mother, and you came out and you started to grow. But then something happened. So when we go back to the beginning, your job is to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion, right? Then But what has to happen is we have to repair the mindset of the descendants of slaves who were brought. The first slaves were brought as scientists and doctors and engineers, and then they were broken down into Negroes. So when you have matter, and when matter starts to break down, it becomes dust. So when they broke down the black man, he became dust. And then they put that dust together and created a man that they call Negro. Most people know about the miseducation of the Negro, but that was the second book of Carter G. Woodson. I mean, the third book. The first book was The Education of the Negro. And what we're going to do, Bryan, we need the money, but we can't go the same way because they're going to be looking at it, No, the money is in the thoughts of the individuals. And when they fill the thoughts of the individuals with drug and alcohol, now you're cloudy. Now the solution, and if you give me a screen share, this is what Promote Peace is all about. And this is how we're going to make it. This is how everybody that participates in this is going to have a job. You gave me screen share? Okay.
I just did it just now.
Can y'all see that? This is
Yes, sir.
This is what we're bringing. This is what I'm bringing to my brother, Jay Mckay.
The Promote Peace Challenge fundraiser is the first fundraiser designed to address the poverty mindset, education and unemployment in the underserved communities in City of Philadelphia, the Delaware Valley and cities across the nation. Each participant is challenged to help promote peace, which is proper education and cooperative economics while learning the steps needed to own their life. This fundraiser will benefit the organization, its members and/or players, their families, friends, neighbors and communities. It is truly a financial win-win-win for everyone. If you would like to accept the Promote Peace Challenge or you would like to hold a fundraiser for youth organizations, school, church, 501c3 or a foundation, just visit impeace.svsppc.com and leave your name, email, phone, answer yes that you want to help promote peace. And press the word submit and someone will be in touch to answer your questions. Let's promote peace. Providing proper education and cooperative economics. Accept the challenge.
See, that's what we're going to bring out. And what I've done for this organization, I have created. I'm working with a company called BAM, and this is 1 second. I have to go to another meeting, but I want to show John what I just did.
Talk about the future, fellas. This like getting in on Bitcoin or Tesla.
Oh no, we're going to discuss Bitcoin because 99% of the people don't know what Bitcoin is. All right. Now this right here, this is creating a collaborative economy. See, because we can't keep going to the same people for money because they're going to look at us and one, it's going to take 90 to 120 days. I mean, the brothers and sisters that have the hair salons, they were told that they was going to receive $30 million in June, and I was on a Zoom in November, and they still haven't had it. All right. So we cannot ask anybody else for something that we can do for ourselves, and that's peace. So now when you'll get educated on this, but see, when you join, You see what that says? In collaboration with Life Outside the Streets. $199 one-time membership. And then we teach you how to be a boss. A boss is built on self-success. This is how we're going to have peace in the community. This is the it's no longer Generation X, those who were born between 1965 and 1980, versus Generation Z, those who were born between 1997 and 2012. These are the ones who are clashing. You're clashing because we don't know peace. And when there's no just us, JUSTUS, there's no peace. Everybody that was born after 1981, you could be my son. So I'm only going to tell you the truth, and I'm not going to give you an opinion. I'm going to tell you, don't take my, Sashawn, don't take my word. Don't take anything I said. Research it yourself. Research it yourself. And I'm going to leave you with that. You know, I'm glad to be a part of this. Burning the boats, that right there. If you don't know, what as soon as brother told me, I was like, oh yeah, I know that. They pulled up, they was getting ready to take the land, and the commander said, burn the boats. We're not giving you the option of retreating. You know, we're going to take it. But see, we're in the 21st century. And they already know that they taught you this. So they want you to come angry and aggressive and do the march. We had the 63 march that they said was Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream. That was not the name of the march. It was for poverty and employment. 10 years later, they had another march for poverty and employment.
And it's
10
back.
years later, they have another march for poverty and employment. Every time is no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. And then they dangle grants in front of you so you can go into the nonprofit thing, but there's two sides of a nonprofit.
Right. And before you go there, Trey, because we got to move along. Right. So you have
I'm a coach.
Right. Thank you.
I'm a coach.
Right.
I do not like losing.
And we're not losing. We got this. Listen, listen, we got it. I appreciate you. In summary, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. Coach Tre is bringing that financial literacy that's going to not only teach us how to have ownership of our money, but first ourselves. Ownership of everything else starts with owning yourself. And that starts with knowing your worth, knowing who you are, which he so eloquently shared. So in our financial literacy, with our financial literacy partner and Coach Tre, you understand, in peace, we know that we're going to be teaching self, which goes right back to what Professor Booth said that we have with Culture Reset, whereas we're dealing with, we're teaching the person. We're not bringing programs to make robots. We're transforming the mind, and that everybody say we got to speak to the mind, and we're not letting, like Professor Booth and Sean said, the boats is burnt. We're holding everyone accountable. They will not, the death rate is going down. We're not tolerating and just letting things go, letting things slide. That's why we're doing our protests, you understand? And that's why we're activating our big picture. Thank you, Coach Tre. We're going to keep it moving. You know, I'm sure I'll see you at the next briefing. We're going to pass the mic to Philly Truce. And I'm gonna pass it to Philly Truce first, and then we're gonna go back to you, Booth, if we can. So because I know a couple of y'all gotta go, but I really want to hopefully get everybody to hear. I'm gonna jump right into the security plan before everybody has to go. So go ahead, Steve. I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Yeah.
I be heard, seems like it's unstable.
All right, yeah, it got clearer at the end. Maybe if you do it with just the audio, it might help. If you drop your screen.
Drop the screen set.
Yeah, I can hear you now. You know, because it's a weaker. You know what I mean. Your computer ain't
Can I be
trying.
heard?
Yep. So this brother Philly Truce, man.
Okay.
By now, y'all should know Philly Truce. If you don't, you will. You know, these brothers have definitely conflict. They're going to tell you about them, but I just want to give you your flowers now and thank you for, you know, trailblazing and, you know, in taking conflict resolution to our community and creating a tangible, active resource for us to resolve conflict without violence right now. You know, everybody doesn't know about it, but we're going to, you know, we're here to continue to change that. But go ahead, you can tell them better than I can tell them, Steve. I just wanted to say thank you and I appreciate y'all.
No, thanks, Jan. And I appreciate you for inviting us on to be a part of this. Learn about, you know, I've been sitting back listening, and you know, it's really this information is really good. You know, definitely with say Sean on with the burning boats and Tre also. So I mean, and then also Bryan. Like, so this is I like this whole coalition, you know, coming together. So I want to start off with the vision for the Philly Truce Act. The vision serves to improve access and visibility to the resources available for Black and Brown people from community-based organizations, city agencies, religious organizations, educational institutions, health systems, and each other. Because we all have something to offer, you know, people, your neighbor to neighbor, you also have something to offer. So the mission of the Philly Truce Act is to put Philadelphians with knowledge of potentially violent conflicts in contact with trained mediators 24/7.
Amen. And if you could, I guess, you know, if you could touch on what we've been doing through Philly Truce since November, you know, as far as actually, you know, stepping into the security piece, which is a big part of this whole rally and this message, is that, you know, we have an active security plan and it's in, you know, and it's in the process. And you guys have definitely taking the lead on beating the streets. Can you touch on some of the success that you've had in recent months?
Yeah, I'll take that one. This is Mckay. How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on, bro? Go ahead.
What's up? Well, it's ironic you should say that. I'm out here right now, 47th and Lancaster, waiting to see you show up.
We can't get a live shot. We can't get you.
Well, I'm come on, man.
Hey, yeah, B, you know, let
So we're out here now. I'm waiting to see you show up for Peace Patrol. So as far as being in the street, we started last Thanksgiving. We did you know, not just us, I'm saying in coalition with many other groups, Partners in Peace. I'm gonna forget a bunch of names, but everybody know who they are. And we began with a Thanksgiving memorial truce, and the 5 days from Thursday to Monday, we saw a 2/3 reduction in homicides over 2020. And I swear to you, we only hit maybe the 16th and the 19th district. So we said we're gonna do it again, New Year's to Christmas Eve. The numbers didn't reflect our presence in the street, unfortunately, but we was out there, and since January 14th, we've been on a three patrol per week rotation, meaning Friday night, Saturday morning right now at 11, and then Saturday evening at 7 again. And this is something that's very, very easy to do and very effective and very helpful in getting people's mind and focus off the problem and into the solution. What do? We get as many people as we can. We start from a point, like right now, I say we have 47th and Lancaster. The weather's not working in our favor, but we still come out. We pick a route, you know, that we haven't hit. We go out, we let the people know we out there, and we encourage them to join us. We give them some information about how they can get on the app if they need help, how they could come out and join with us in the patrol. and just let them know that we out here spreading love, and we in your community encouraging you to come out and take back your community. So anybody want to jump in on the Peace Patrol, you just go to zerohomicidesnow.com. You'll see the schedule. You see how to sign up. And, you know, if you make that commitment, it's on you. I'm going to keep it real with you. We got 87 people on the list. And every time we go out, we tell them 87 people through a text message, we going out. Now, I ain't going to tell you how many show up, but it ain't 87. So we need to commit, and then we need to follow through and honor our commitments. That's the only way it's going to change. A lot of this stuff really can't be thought out differently. You got to take some action and see a different result, and then you're going to start to think differently. So I encourage everyone. You feel a lot different about what come on the news when you out in the streets seeing something different and doing something different. And don't worry about your safety and all that. God got you. God got us.
Amen, 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 man. You know, that's a big part of what we're going to learn about history is that, you know, God has used his people to be the front line of progress for a long time. And, you know, and the reason why, because he's going to protect us. You know, the people of God have always been on the front line, and everybody on this line, you know, to the best of my knowledge, is a man, a God, you understand, and understands that the creator is in charge. You understand, and our protection is in his hands. So I'm going to pass the mic back to my brother Bryan Booth and ask everyone if they can, after he's done. I'm going to jump into the security for Philly spill. You know, even though I've been working with these brothers, I've been organizing and developing this for some time now, and I want y'all to catch it live if you can. I understand if you got to go, it's going to be recorded, and we'll be back next on Sunday. But go ahead, Booth. Go ahead, give them the rundown on Culture Reset. This is another fragment of it anyway. So this is the school security for Philly plan. Let's go, Booth. You gotta cut your mic back on too, Booth.
There we go. Okay. It's proven that schools are the safest places in a community. It's also proven that to make a school safer, you need to totally reset the culture. To make a company safer, you have to totally reset the culture. You just can't add things in. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a total cultural reset. What is it? It's a new and exciting program of cultural change, allowing schools to make needed and positive changes in their school cultures. It takes 15 weeks to complete. It includes an intensive 4-week period of full-time intervention at the school, midway through that 15-week program. In that time, a school staff and students are taught advanced interpersonal skills and concepts such as goal setting, self-care, visioneering, ownership, Rogerian therapeutic techniques, arbitration skills. The program is based on scientifically validated principles of change management, behavioral psychology, educational theory. It's presented by certified and experienced professionals. Okay, that's Culture Reset Philly. We give the students power. We give them knowledge. We give them education, and they make the right decisions.
That's it. That's it. I normally say that it ain't no rocket science, but it is rocket science. You understand? We're just finally teaching it because my man, Professor Booth, is a scientist. You feel me? Go ahead, Booth. You got some more? You got some more you want to tell them about that? That was enough for me because we're going to have a formal cultural reset presentation. I just wanted to give you guys a snapshot, you know, of my community partners and what we have in store, what we have already done. And, you know, each and everything, even from Philly Truce to Burning Boots, you know, moving forward, we're going to have more town halls that dive deeper and unpack what these resources are to do two things: to expose the resources and to recruit and to expand and to perfect the resources. You understand? We ain't, as you can see and you can hear, you know, even with my brothers and my community partners, my priorities, let's get to the solution. You understand what I'm talking about? We got to stay on that train. We do have to provide a space to vent, because the loss of our children this is why we're here. This is why we're here. Don't get it twisted. This is why we're here. So, you know, venting and acknowledging the problem is always a part of it. But we're going to keep perfecting, jumping right into this message. And on that note, I'm going to jump right into this presentation. You understand me? Real talk. So listen, it's been a long time coming. It's your main man, CEO Mckay. These brothers got me fired up. You get what I'm saying? Security for Philly is here. I'm looking for feedback. You understand? And let's see what we got in store. So I minimize y'all because I can't see everything. There we go. If you got it's just us here. If y'all got anything come to mind, jump out there, cut me off, ask me a question, please, because that's what it's about. This master class is a leadership, behavioral health, and project management. It says real world learning experience because this was developed for the students that I serve both at Vaux and Big Picture. However, the language and the content and the message and the training component are all the same as it relates to the general Security for Philly training program that we'll be offering to the city, to both youth and adult. So here at Life Outside the Streets, we believe that we can not only tell people to be safe, we must train them to be safe. We believe that education is the best prevention tool. You understand? Behavior is dictated by the brain. You can only utilize the wisdom and knowledge that you've activated. One of the first key elements that we're tools that we're using with Security for Philly to launch it is getting and asking the community to take our Security for Philly pledge. You understand? This pledge not only communicates your commitment to keeping yourself safe and others safe, but it's also like a crash course on conflict resolution. So I'm going to read through this pledge, and I am going to check in with you guys and get some feedback before I move right along. So the pledge is: self-security starts with humility. Pride comes before destruction. Most conflicts are founded in miscommunication and misinformation. Therefore, my priority is to always establish effective communication that will support me in accomplishing my goal and our goal of keeping myself safe and our family safe. My brain is the most powerful weapon on earth. You understand? So just to unpack this security pledge, self-security starts with humility. Through research and reflection, what you'll find is most conflicts that escalate to violence are, one or both individuals have failed at humbling themselves and looking at the bigger picture, at humbling themselves and standing on the moral values, the morals that are written on their heart by God himself. Everyone does know right from wrong. And in most cases, what we're dealing with right now, they fail to resort to being humble because of the brain damage, that they have from trauma and all other things we're going to talk about. So self-security starts with humility. That's a mindset. So, we're going to teach you humility, but, embodying and saying this pledge, again, our goal is to equip you with the tools and to make you aware. Pride comes before destruction. You understand? So on the other side of that humility, it's that pride. Pride is what gets in the way with a person saying, you know what, it ain't that deep. You understand? You know what, I was wrong. So, and this is scriptural, pride. And when people take a reflection and take inventory, they will find before most conflicts that went left, whether it was their pride or another individual's pride was the thing that got in the way of things not being de-escalated. And then I'll move into breaking down, the science behind most conflicts, right? Nothing is absolute. That's why it doesn't say conflicts. It says most conflicts are founded in miscommunication and misinformation. Because we haven't been using Philly Truce to our best of our ability, people have been moving off and trying to resolve conflict on misinformation and miscommunication. Because once you really sit individuals down and get to the bottom of what's behind all these beefs, this is what you're going to find. I bet anything. I don't bet, but I promise you, I challenge you. You know, I challenge anybody to share what they're going through with us. And we'll find that in some capacity, there was some miscommunication or misinformation that is driving that conflict. And what I found as a professional that work in the field is that it's very effective in helping people realize that they have an aha moment, and now they transition into, you know what, I can move forward because now I understand how we got here. That's what mediation is all about. So this is what will, you know, not just be sharing with you through a pledge, but every individual will be trained to have this level of understanding is what you'll walk away from here with. And last but not least, but my brain is the most powerful weapon on earth. You understand? Right now, if I was to ask a question blindly, you know, to a lot of individuals, not all, because I've done this already. I've been, you know, with students and adults, and I ask you, what's the most powerful weapon on earth? People think of guns and bombs and nukes, but really the brain is the one that built them and is also the one that gets to press the button on those tools. Chris Tucker said it in the movie. Guns don't kill people. Stupid people or ignorant people with guns kill people. You understand? So the gun and everything that man has made is not the most powerful weapon on earth. It's your brain. And now when we make people aware of that, because everyone thirsts power, because that's what we were designed to do, and we possess power, God's power, but we just been misled, focusing on the wrong power. So now when we again resurrect the truth to everyone, to the brain being the most powerful weapon, what are they going to yield to? What are they going to start to feed? Because everybody, once we make them aware of what's valuable and powerful, we've been spending money and thousands and hundreds of dollars in time on anything that we thought will make us better. You understand? There's no shortfall of people that desire to live more healthier, fruitful lives, and but they're just a little misinformed. So now that once we make them aware that their brain is the most powerful weapon, they're gonna commit to healing their brain. They're gonna commit to using their brain. You understand? Because it's going to keep them safe and others safe. So my question to you guys, real quick, your feedback, what's your position on this pledge? Do you believe in any capacity, not even any, and on a high level, do you believe if everyone knew this, if everyone embodied this, if everyone used this as a resource? One of the ways I introduced it to my students was, when you're in a conflict, read and reflect on this pledge before you resolve it. You understand? Before you resolve it. Because when you go into it, even if the other individual don't know the pledge and they're not for it, if my priority is to keep myself safe and others safe, whatever I'm communicating, I'm going to make sure I'm not I'm not escalating it. Why? Not because I'm a sucker, but because the most effective way to be successful is because keeping me safe and others safe. So, I'm asking for feedback from you brothers. Do y'all believe this will serve to be effective in a large capacity, not any capacity? Fellas?
Yes. Yo, can I be heard?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Mckay with Philly Truce. Yeah, I mean, I think it's powerful. I think it's a lot there to unpack. And I think that however it is conveyed to whoever, if it's during training or whatever, it should be some kind of assignment given to unpack it, right? To, like, even if you gotta go word by word, define every word, and you know what I'm saying? Like it has to become embedded, you know what I'm saying? A way of life. But I mean, it's the truth. So yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
I agree 100% with what he just said. Just so you know, I have engaged the copywriter of the DARE program. If you remember the DARE program, Dare Not to Do Drugs. So we're going to put the security training and we're going to blow it up citywide. We're going to have posters. We're going to have decals. We want to put all our ideas together into one unified structure and say, this is what we're doing. We're going to use Coach Tre's ideas of getting rich, of having business. Why are people going downtown to buy fashion when we're making the fashion in West Philly?
Come on. Yeah, y'all heard, Booth. Come on,
it's stupid. So if we have security on the streets at 52nd Street Station, That's a thriving marketplace. We'd have
Yeah.
thousands of people coming down to West Philly to go shopping. Why are we selling our houses to rich people so they can charge us exorbitant rents? Okay, Black-owned communities. You should only sell it to other people in the community, not to landlords and corporations. Okay, these are things that need to be built into the culture. They need to be advertised. It needs to be, we know how we get, if you want to sell
Hold
a
up,
million
Booth,
products, you
Booth.
put out a million advertisements.
Hold up, Booth. I gotta correct you. You know, we were in a phase of it needs to be. It's gonna be. You
It's gonna
understand?
be.
There we go.
Yeah.
We in the it's gonna be phase.
It's going to be. We're going to get the funding. We're going to blow it up. Okay. So if you know copywriters, artists and stuff that can make posters, that can make images that get into you, send me their email. Okay. I will send them to Tom, and Tom will give him assignments.
Let's go. You hear that?
Okay.
Come on, man. It ain't a better way. And I was going to say this in regards to Philly Truce and the work they're doing. Thank you for that, Booth. So one of the things that Steve mentioned in his introduction of Philly Truth is that it's a resource of connecting. You know what I'm saying? Connecting people, and it's a platform to showcase what you're doing, which speaks right to what Booth just talked about. You understand? We have it ain't no secret. This economists know it. We are the bag, but we haven't been effectively developing it. And now we have the tools, and now we have the team and the collective that is organizing to create the system. You understand? So Philly Truce, and I'm saying all of that to say that if you have a brand or anything that you want to get out, joining a peace patrol and passing out what you have during that is the most effective thing you could do. You understand? No, you're not getting paid to do it, but you're going to have a team of supporters that are not only walking around providing security. You could just be trying to get over and be like, I'm just going to promote my CD. We need manpower. Come on out with it.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
Come on out with it. And Philly
Come on.
Truce and life outside the street. We in the media, we don't care. We just want you out there. We want to get your stuff out there. So, I just want I want the world to realize that these platforms of volunteering is the best type of marketing opportunity you could ever get. And we about to show you better than we could tell you. You understand what I'm talking about? So go ahead. You got something, Sean?
Yeah, on the communication tip, the miscommunication, I feel like that's definitely one of the main problems we have in the streets. That's kind of how we got to where we at now. Miscommunication. Older ones not communicating with the younger ones, and the younger ones not communicating with the older ones. That's how miscommunication is how things escalate the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Instead of letting everything be known and giving the right information, everybody goes and thinking they know what's going on the whole time, thinking this other person have a conflict with them because there wasn't no communication there. It wasn't no men being men and talking to each other. It wasn't no people being people of the community, period, and talking to each other, or even communicating when it's a problem, or communicating that they need help. And I definitely like the brain as the weapon, is the most powerful weapon part, because that's the main thing we was being misinformed of.
Whoa, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
How we should move, how we've been moving, So I'm definitely on board with that.
I appreciate it. Hey, bro, how old are you, man? Who you speaking
I'm 26.
for? You 26. What? 26, man. You understand? Yeah. So, this thing is covered, and we're going to continue to build. I've been working with the youth, the high school students. I've been training them through their internship, working with life outside the streets. And the first thing they say, this is the overview. This is what I use just to showcase what the training is. This ain't the actual training. This is just a program overview. And in this, they be like, I got you, Steve. In this training, they be like, this is what we supposed to be learning. Why the teachers ain't teaching this and teaching that? And this ain't a shot at them, but this is more of a focus on the youth saying, this is what we want. So this is what we're about to showcase. This has been happening in the shadows, direct, but now we're equipped with the platform and the system and the team to share it across the city. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, you rolling, and I'm riding right with you, and I don't want to I didn't fall back and wait till, everybody else commented on it, then be like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm with it, like it looks good. But no, I just wanted to say, like, this is very well thought out, it's accurate, and it's direct, and it's necessary. Like know Dr. Bryant mentioned the DARE program, those programs like that were available. Like, I know I'm 47 years old. When I was coming up in school, we had that support in order to know how to think things through and think things out. And those were taken away, so-called, due to budget cuts. So now it's up to us again, just like it's up to us in the community. Like I like what say Sean said. How did you say that? Yeah, that was beautiful. He said the streets have to clean the streets. That's what he said.
Yep, that's exactly what it said. The streets have to clean the streets.
Yo, yo, it's powerful right there. So again, now on another level, if the streets have to clean the streets, then we also have to clean, using this pledge. This is cleaning our minds, that of the things that haven't been removed, that were there at one point in time, just the small things, just to teach people, I mean, for people to understand how to think on a more logical and realistic level. So I mean, this is powerful, and I love it. And I mean, I think it's, it can go, yeah, this can go national and worldwide, because we know wherever there's people, there's problems.
Absolutely. And it will go. You understand? Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. It's going to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
ain't no more possibilities. We speak it. It's in progress and it's going to happen. One of the two.
It's already happening.
Yep. So, all right. So moving right along, I got a couple quotes down there. Thank everyone for their feedback. At the bottom, it's a couple quotes that we live by. Art, always remain thorough. You know what I'm saying? I know this to be a familiar term for us as older adults, but believe it or not, the younger adults, they on thorough too. They spell it THURL, but they embody it. That's one of their terms. And my little brother, Eddie Kane, Edward Wells, he's up top right now on his way home. He came up with this message and this brand, always remain thorough. And these are governing tools that I believe will help communicate what is necessary amongst this culture reset. You understand, when things are happening, for example, just to apply it in the classroom, when a student is cutting up, when we say, yo, bro, always remain thorough. That's saying it might be something going on, but don't let that get you out of character. But it's saying it in a way that it could be receptive and not a student telling another student what to do. It's more empowering. You understand? It's what we're looking for. We got to give them language. They want to advocate for themselves. A lot of conflicts that are happening are because people are trying to mediate and advocate for themselves, but they're not equipped with the right language, and we're here to provide them with it. Again, you can only use what you're taught. You understand? So we're here to teach. It's okay not to be okay. You understand? We live in a world where people apologize for crying. Oh, I'm sorry I'm crying. Oh, I'm sorry I'm upset. No, all of our feelings are valid. It's what we do with that energy. It's what we do with that anger. It's what we do with that anxiety. It's what we do with that energy from that depression. You understand that matters. So we have to, communicate and over communicate that it's okay not to be okay. Of course you're upset. We be telling our own children that are devastated from losing friends, like, it's all right, you got to keep moving forward. No, it's okay that you're devastated. It's okay that you're distraught, that you're depressed. It's fine. But we're going to make sure we dictate what happens with that energy. That's the key. You understand? And that's another message that is going to help govern and reset this culture. Go ahead, Steve.
So I mean, it sounds, I don't know what the next the action plan is, or the how to drive this, but it definitely sounds like, for one, this is your calling. Two, you've been anointed to do this by God. Three, we have to do a school tour, and we need funding for that, to do that, because this is a job right here. This is not something I do a couple days a week. No, this is every day. So in my opinion, that plan.
Listen, I appreciate you. And listen, I got news for you. I got news for you and everyone. We don't need funding. Let me tell you why we don't, because we already got it. The Lord is waiting for us to get outside and get activated like Philly Truce is on patrols. The bag is waiting. So you're right. In a physical sense, we need it, but it's waiting for us. You understand? So with all that is missing is scheduling the tour. All that is missing is hitting the first couple schools. You understand? And whatever needs to be provided will be provided, like they provided that cattle for my old head Jesus to ride through the town. You know how this thing works. You understand what I'm talking about? So we're going to keep walking on this water, and God is already covered. So we're going to have the necessary discussions. You understand? We're going to build the necessary campaigns to fundraise, to invest, to get the monetary, resources. We're going to take those steps because faith without works is dead. You understand? But the fact of the matter is it's already funded, but you only get access to the funding like a grant when you're following the blueprint of the grant. But the blueprint of this grant writer is found in the word of God. The good news is, even if the people that we're serving ain't studying, we are, and we activated. Does that satisfy what you were concerned about, Steve?
Oh no, it wasn't. It does, but it wasn't a concern. I mean, because it's already in my mind how to do it anyway to get the funding. So you were just confirming that. Yeah, I wasn't saying it out of a mindset of lack, but it was out of a mindset of, okay, this is just what needs to happen next.
As a priority. Pardon me. Thank you for I received that correction, and thank you for making sure we highlighted in depth. The last quote I want to touch on before we move right along is, come on, treat your trauma. You understand what I'm talking about? That is an action. That's a lifestyle. It's vital. It's essential. Right now, it's being introduced. Right now, it's a thing that I should do. It's being introduced in that manner. But we're here to tell you that treating your trauma is just as essential as reading God's word. It's just as essential as drinking water every day. It's just as essential as having oxygen. Treating your trauma is when you intentionally do self-care and self-care activities to heal from whatever has scarred you. You understand? See, this is why we exercise and what we eat, and all of those things impact us. And whether we are committed to treating our trauma or not, we're going to eventually talk to somebody. Even though, see, everybody talks to a therapist. Some of the therapists are professionals and some of them are not. A therapist is just a professional listener. Is a listener, a person that you vent to. But what makes them a therapist, that they've been trained. So we all go to therapy, but we aren't all using therapists. But treating your trauma is basically a commitment to heal and to deal with your emotions in a healthy way. And we're going to teach you. We're not just going to direct you. And that's the other thing. We're changing our culture from being a directive. Oh, you need to do this, to being instructional. Come here, let me show you how to do this. When you see somebody don't know how to do something, do not direct them. If you're with us, you have to commit to instructing them. It's a difference. People need instruction, not direction. After you give them instruction, in the instructions, it gives them direction, and then they won't need your help anymore. You know what I mean? In the same capacity of when you send them, go look up that, and then they keep coming back. Why? Because you didn't give them enough instruction to sustain the research, but we're not making that mistake. Is there any more comments or feedbacks on this slide before I move along?
I'm clear on it.
Great. Moving right along. So that's the pledge. So the peer support role. So, again, this presentation was designed for the high school students that we are rolling Security for Philly out with. Pardon me, I'm plugging up the laptop before technology gets in the way of God's work. But yeah, so basically at the schools, at Vaux Big Picture, at Vaux Big Picture and across the school district, the people that provide support to the students are called like climate and culture agents, or if you're a little older, they used to call them NTAs. They kind of, manage the hallways. The students like to try to call us cops, but we ain't cops, because anything that has to do with authority, they associate it with, the police, and I get why. However, at Vaux, our climate staff is called Positive Support. Excuse me. And so basically, this is what a person, a student, this is the role or the profession that students will walk away with. As we develop this presentation, we want to, after we transition into the mission, from the mission and the pledge, we want to get right to what you're going to walk away with, right? So students, peers, and adults, they're going to walk away with a listening ear for urgent conflicts. You understand? I'm very effective. We're very effective at the work that we do because we're proactive. So you have to know what an urgent conflict sounds like before it becomes urgent. You understand? You're going to be trained to be a self-care or coping skills coach. You'll be trained to be proactive as a mediator. You know, now here's a more in-depth rundown of what students in schools will be trained and paid to do as we secure the funding. You understand? They will remind their class, student, and staff of norms via notes, text messages, or email, or in the most discreet way of our cultural norms, of always remain thorough, of treating your trauma. You understand what I'm saying? Of it's okay not to be okay, of whatever those school resources are, they would, in the class, another student that has been trained and hired by us, they will, in a discreet way, when somebody's having a conflict or a breakdown, remind them of what we have, right? And then they will communicate with positive support, or Life Outside the Streets, or Philly Truce, or whatever that climate staff is in that community or in that school. They will communicate with them as needed, not as snitches, as support, because everyone that knows when you're using Security for Philly or Life Outside the Streets or any of these resources that are coming, you know, out of the Burning Boats or Philly Truce or this coalition, we're pro community resolution. We don't want to turn you over to the ineffective system that has been in place. However, it is a resource for those that don't want to resolve things in a civilized way amongst the community. That's why I don't want to. We still need the police in that traditional system for those that don't want to resolve things amongst themselves. Maybe you might still need to use their resource, and we ain't abandoning you. We're committed to helping you heal your brain, because we know that is the root cause of the dysfunction in your life. You understand? Then they will also lead daily self-care exercises in classes until their peers start to step up. So what that looks like, you know, at our school and other schools, is they will lead the class in meditation and introducing them to different ways to have self-care. And what often happens in the classroom, you know, is other people wants to start to be the lead as well. So, you know, this is communicating to the students that we're training for the profession, like, look, you'll have to lead in it initially, but you know, as you become better at your job, your peers gonna step up. So you ain't even gonna have to do it. You're gonna be there supervising eventually. You understand? Because it's all about really elevating you through our process and taking it to the next level. They'll also be going over the culture and security norms daily. And we learn things through repetition. You understand? This security thing can get fixed overnight, but the training can't be overnight. We can fix the problem overnight, but it's going to take repetition. It's going to take reminding people of what a truce is, of what peace is, of what security is daily. We can't just be responding to issues. We got to make it, we're going to make it a part of our culture to stay reminded and abreast to what our cultural norms are. And that's what puts people in the best position to carry them out. You understand? People don't know. That's why they operate how they are. And they're not just going to get it just off of one session. So we're going to make sure we're consistent with reminding everybody of our cultural and security norms daily, both in the classroom, through the community, and, you know, both through the schools and through the community. Collect forms and provide training. Oh no, I skipped one. Provide and referral form completion. So this is major because we're launching it in the school, but I believe it's going to be a great tool for even in the community as we use our restorative justice hubs. So this referral form that isn't really described in this flyer is basically a form for when there's a conflict going on in the classroom. In short, it gives the student or the victim a voice. What does that mean? Often in the classroom, something transpires, whether it's with two students or there's a conflict between the student and the teacher. And because the teacher has the authority, and this is the time to teach, there's really not a space to hear out why the kid was doing what they were doing and to really hear their side, right? So just to create a scenario, two kids are playing in the back of the classroom. The teacher says, hey, You both got detention, da 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 da. Now that often escalates into, oh, I was doing this, da da da. I wasn't doing that. Now the teacher is saying, all right, y'all understand all that, but I got to get back to teaching. Y'all disrupted my classroom, blah, blah, blah. Now that escalates and further disrupts the class. And it never even, and the issue never gets resolved. With these forms, these referral forms are going to provide, they're going to provide a space for the student to be like, so once the teacher says what they says and the student want to share their part, I mean, they will be taught and trained. So they'll be able to say, you know what? I'm gonna go get me this form. In other places, it's more like a grievance or whatever. But I'm gonna tell my side of what happened. So it gives them that space of what treating their trauma, getting it out. It's like journaling, right? We get it, but it gives them their voice, which they believe that, which in most cases they don't have a voice. You understand? People act like they care about what you're saying, but they don't. But they know when life outside the streets and Philly Truce, they know that we're going to take these forms and respond to these things. So they're going to use them. So that, and they know we're going to advocate for them. So they're going to fill the form out and tell us what's really going on. And this is the best part. And also recommend how to fix it. And that's what you really get out of Restorative Justice Hub. So now what that does is, so now when we get the form, because if you're making a complaint, 9 times out of 10 kids got an idea, because this is what should happen. Some of it's realistic, some of it's not, but that's the beginning of them having a voice in the issue. And now when we, as the Restorative Justice community, or professionals will, now bring them together and communicate with them to get to that resolution. You understand? And do it collectively. So that's what that reform does. And what it also does is now it minimizes conflicts escalating and further disrupting the community or the classroom or community, because you're giving people a formal way to make a complaint. Right now, if something happens, we all know the police, because of, for whatever reasons, they don't have the capacity to respond to our complaints in an effective way. So people don't even want to take that route. People that do take it, they're met with more disrespect and this, that, and the other. I don't want to give too much attention to the broken system, but I'm saying that to say that we don't have a system of restoration and a voice to be heard when conflicts arise. And that's what this is the beginning of. You understand what I'm talking about? So they'll be trained to collect those forms and provide training. They'll also infuse the school culture with motivation and information and inspiration using affirmations. So, we're going to train them to be us. People like to say, oh, you're either born this way or that way. No. I was trained up to be this way. You understand? I know that. You understand? Oh, I let them tell you what they want to tell you, but I'm going to train you to do everything that I can do. Everything is trainable. You understand? Everything we know, we learned from somebody else. So we're going to train people to be positive beacons, and we're going to pay them. So like I told them, this is like, you've been to Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. Though they might not be the friendliest people when they not at work, but when they at work, you only know them to be friendly. Why? Because they're trained that way. So we're going to train students and pay them to behave themselves, and it's going to become natural. It's going to become natural, and it's going to be contagious like everything else that we expose them to. So that's going to be a part of their job. And like I said, in school and in the community, this is the same profile for the security agents. You understand? This is what they're going to be equipped with. They're going to be equipped with being a ball of energy. It's going to be like having a wallow on every block. You understand what I'm talking about? Providing security. That's what security for Philly looks like. It doesn't look like policing and militarization. They'll be equipped. We'll make sure they're equipped to protect, but the main part of their job is going to be to provide a voice and to connect people with resources, as you'll hear more about. Build confidence in peers or the community with positive energy and outlooks. People need to be uplifted. You understand? You're not just going to be posted on the block patrolling. You're going to be all of this right here. Demonstrate customer service and core values at all times. Receive correction with humility. You understand me? And always, always, always take accountability for actions intended and unintended. That unintended is the big one. You understand? It's often easy to get people with intended intentions to see it, but the unintended, well, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I understand you didn't mean to. However, this still was the result. So when the result is still counterproductive, we got to take accountability of that. even if that's not our intentions. So our staff, whether youth or adult, will be trained and paid and ordered and held accountable on a high scale to always take accountability for their actions. That's how you get accountability. People only do what they paid to do. Right now, people are being paid not to be accountable. That's another conversation. Moving right along, this is a snapshot of the careers that career path that you can take with these skills. You understand? Because again, while this was presented for the youth, I showed them, right on this first level, you can and will be hired primarily through Life Outside the Streets and community partners like Philly Truce. You could be a peer support specialist, an advocate, parent partner right now, starting from as low as $950 to $15 an hour. I got word that Work Ready is paying $11 an hour. So that'd be really the new bottom line. That's where the $950 came out. And now Work Ready is paying our children $11 an hour. So right now, you can start getting paid as much as $11 an hour and moving right along. It's a lifetime of career development attached to the skills that you'll walk away with from attending this training. In short, all the way up to the master's level, where you could be a therapist, you can run an organization. Everyone deals with people. Everyone needs behavioral health and leadership, in their businesses and in entities. So in what you'll be trained in this program, you can work anywhere. You understand what I'm talking about? So that's the career paths. We're not going to spend too much time on that. I really wanted to get to this right here. This is our principles and safety protocols. This gives you the science behind what we believe in as it relates to and how we define security. And it also kind of walks you through what the protocol would be to dealing with a conflict. So first and foremost, we understand here at Life Outside the Streets and with Security for Philly that God is ultimately in control of our protection. And that is based on our individual and collective obedience to his word. I understand that we live in a world where everything outside of God is a go right now, and everything that has to do with God is doing too much right now. But we come from a place of reality where God is all in control. You understand? And his word tells us that our protection and safety isn't in our hands. You understand? It's really based upon our obedience to his word, hence the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill, steal. All the laws of our land are founded in God's laws. You understand? You'll go to school and they'll tell you, oh, we can't mention religion and spirituality and theories and science, although, everything that is built off of what is written in the Bible. So that's a whole nother story. But the main thing is, when it comes to security, you understand, we need the people that we're training and the people that we serve to understand who's really providing security. We're just vessels of executing his plan and his operations to establish that security. So, that's why we're going to have the top flight security. You understand me? Both the Bible and the Quran, for that matter. The next thing is communication is key when it comes to us. We share information with prevention as the priority. We believe that most people don't snitch or share information because snitching is not, even scripturally, snitching is not what you should be doing. The word of God says, how dare you take your matters outside of the body of Christ? How dare you take your matters outside of your community and take them into the courts? Don't you have enough faith? It did not provide you with enough wisdom to deal with them. Shame on us, God tells us, to resort on courts to deal with our matters. So standing on that scripture alone, just so you know, this ain't just a personal aspiration. You understand? God tells us that we're supposed to be sharing and dealing with our issues amongst ourselves. Snitching comes from the true definition of snitching is when two criminals collectively agree to do something, and then one or many of them, after committing to do it, kind of, tells on the other one or others or people that don't have nothing to do with them to get out of the criminal lifestyle that they were living. You understand? And that they signed up for. And that's why it's taboo in the criminal world, because there is a criminal code that basically snitching violates. However, as civilians, because snitching is only a term valid to the criminal world. And that's what I teach students. I say, are you a criminal? Because only criminals snitching matters to criminals. In the civilian world, we are always sharing information for perfection, prevention, and evaluation. You know, and it's a serious process in teaching that when I'm working with the community and people. But as we establish this, people are going to gain more understanding. And if anything is in the chat, please let me know, because I can't see the chat. I see there's a couple of numbers up there. Just raise your hand so I can check it. I don't want to miss anything that anybody wants to say or touch on. But yeah, so we share information with prevention as the priority. And we believe that with the restorative justice hubs that we will be hosting in partnership with the Restorative Cities Initiative and partners like Philly Truce, we, you know, that are committed to not turning you over to the police. Not because we have anything against the police, we just believe that we have what it takes to resolve our issues amongst ourselves and to move forward and get people and hold people accountable without turning them over to a system that has really been increasing destruction and not decreasing it. So moving right along, we believe that we will, this will resurrect people sharing information with the right intention. We also believe that we need to prioritize medical support and rule out medical conditions prior to resorting to detaining systems. So what that means is that speaks to, if you're familiar with the Walter Wallace situation, and any situation with the cops, who's our default security system right now, they often, the first thing, and even not just the cops, even regular security guards at businesses and schools and stuff, first thing they want to do is get physical. You understand? And the first thing they assume is that people in their right state of mind are making selfish decisions that are putting everybody else at risk, instead of evaluating, you know, them mentally and using and checking and working through their safety plan to de-escalate them, which we'll learn a lot more about. So we believe at Life Outside the Streets that dysfunctional behavior comes from a dysfunctional anatomy or a dysfunctional brain. So we always, so using the resources of assessment and people's self-care plans, knowing what their triggers are, you understand, knowing what works to respond to their triggers is what you can do without touching people. You get to do communicating, using your words. For example, one of the things I really love about the science around treating trauma, it shows you in a crisis. I learned this in crisis training. This is one of the things they will learn. In a crisis, in a mental health crisis or a behavioral breakdown where somebody is on a tantrum, right? Your son, you told your kids something, they tearing the house up, they don't want to listen, da, 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 da. If on their safety plan, there's a song that says, this is what helps me calm down when I get upset, you could literally just play that song in your house. You don't have to say nothing to your son or daughter. You cut that song on and they will begin, their body will respond to it and begin to de-escalate. Do you know how effective? That means that right now when the police pull up and there's like really obviously a mental health situation going on, if with the information of being able to look up or even inquire, hey, what's on his safety plan to calm him down? And somebody say a song, they could turn that joint up and really get that attention and start to de-escalate and bring things down. It might seem far-fetched, but this is real. You understand? And there's a lot of things that whatever's on a person's safety plan is what they're telling you that works to de-escalate them. So that's always going to be the best effective way to de-escalate the situation, with what a person tells you that works. And that's a part of how we operate in our system. So that's what we mean by prioritize medical support and rule out medical conditions prior to resorting to detaining systems or restraints, right? In the event that a restraint or a detaining is necessary, do so with care and with peace as the priority. So in the event that somebody needs to be restrained, you understand, or you know, grabbed, do it with care. There's no reason why security or the police should be slamming me down if their goal is to de-escalate and make things better. There's no reason why they should be dealing with me in a rough manner that is destructive. And even if they have to get a little more aggressive with me, the language that they're communicating with me while they're doing it should be along the lines of, listen, I'm here to help. I'm just trying to help you out. I need you to work with me. I wouldn't have to restrain you if you can just respond to what we're saying. Can you do that? Da, 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 things like that. So that's what we mean by by that. You understand? In the event that we have to get physical, we want to get so with care, because the priority again is to de-escalate, get to the bottom of it, restore, and prevent the issue from ever happening again. You understand what I'm talking about? Next, assess community members' safety plan, self-care plan, and recommend brain type assessment. So what this means is, do they have a safety plan? If they don't, that's still a form of assessment. We'll introduce them to that. Our goal as an organization is to get everybody to fill out a safety plan and a self-care plan that is accessible to those that matter, the professionals that are providing care and that will be a part of de-escalating and treating trauma, and your personal family members. So, if they have one, after that experience, we will evaluate it. Did the self-care plan work? Did the thing that they said will de-escalate them, did that work effectively? Did we learn something new? Did we find out something that didn't work and we should take off the safety plan and self-care plan? So, that's a part of, the process and protocols as we close things out. Then evaluate the safety plan and self-care plan and revise the safety plan and self-care plan after reflection. Refer to the case manager for assessment for needs. So whenever there's an issue that pops off, there's always bigger things that led up to this conflict, to this issue. So that's where the case manager comes in to do a needs assessment. There's a lot of resources, available, from food, clothing, and shelter, and all your essentials that most people are just not familiar with. So we're going to have case managers on our team that connect you with those things, especially that you'll be able to access just, voluntarily, and also that we'll introduce you to when for any reason you're having some type of brain health challenge or conflict that requires, urgent crisis support. We're still going to resort to, again, getting you your needs on a bigger picture level. And lastly, we're going to provide you with a mentor that will support you in the follow-up process with your case manager, counselor, and advisor resources. What that means is sometimes people need somebody to hold their hand with navigating through all these great resources that we have. You understand? And they need like somebody, and their parents and the people that they're born with, or even themselves, they're not equipped to just do it. So, in our big picture, we're going to provide a mentor to walk people through things after it's obvious that they need support, instead of leading people that are obviously struggling with making decisions on their own, left to make more decisions on their own without the proper support. So we believe all of these things will really help, transform and provide effective security. In a nutshell, that is what security for Philly looks like. You understand? I know people have been wondering, for some time now, and I do want to take a moment to check in and get some feedback from our brothers that are on here on the effectiveness of what I just shared, and anything. What are your thoughts on our principles and safety for protocols?
I want to highlight one thing you was talking about with the schools, with the type of grievance type situation. They would be called grievances other places. I like that a lot because, like you said, the teacher. I remember when I was in school, I didn't do nothing, and the teacher came at both of us instead of listening to us or listening to the side. It's like they just put what we got to say to the side. And that's what, like I said, bring back to the communication, because that's how a lot of the younger generation feel. For like the older generation, just tell them what to do, tell them what's bad, and tell them what's good, instead of trying to understand and listen to what they got to say. So I think that's definitely a perfect way to start showing or start letting them see that their voice will be heard, that they have something to say, that it matters what they got to say. So I definitely like that. And another point, I like that, like you said, if we have to contain somebody, do it with care. This is our family. This is our people. This is our community. There's no reason we should be slamming them around, stumping them, or anything like that. If this is what we're supposed to be doing, we're supposed to be calming things down, not raising the fire. So I'm definitely on board with all of it. I appreciate it. Appreciate the whole presentation. Appreciate the delivery. And I'm on board. I'm ready.
Oh, man,
I'm ready.
Bros is burn, baby. I appreciate the feedback, man. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sorry the camera is off, but it's just helping my signal to stay stable. I think it's comprehensive, it's well thought out. It's all encompassing of you didn't miss anything, you know, it's all there, you know, you can't even add anything to it, or you don't need to take anything away from it. So I mean, it's thorough. So with that being said, I would suggest you protect it because it is a valuable. If you haven't already considered protecting it, it's a valuable piece. And then also, I would, if you haven't already considered it, also I would like to suggest that you attach a budget along with this.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Steve. Yes, it's protected, and yes, yes, and yes. So we will be doing all of those things.
Okay.
Again, I like this is just the first one to finally, I've been dying to do this town hall, but I yield to the spirit. You know what that's about. You feel me? I yield to the spirit, but we're here now. So thank you for that. Yasir Payne, Dr. Payne, are you there? Can we hear from you? What's going on? I don't know who that is. They've been in here. Dr. Payne, they've been in here for a minute. We need to know who you are, what you got going on. You know, we in America, man. We ain't paranoid, and we sharing this with the community and all that. But we just, we security, and this is becoming a security issue for me right now. So if you're there and you want to remain in here, you know what I'm saying? I need you to check in. Let us know you're all right. Blink twice, put something in the chat if you okay. Let us know what's going on. I'm gonna keep moving right along. So that's the security for Philly component. This now we're going to kind of jump into the behavioral health part of the training. Again, all of this is encompassed in the security for Philly training and our leadership training. So this is more of the behavioral health and brain health training component. The understanding and treating your trauma 101, ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, toxic stress, and resiliency training. In this training, this is a training developed by us here at Life Outside the Streets. And basically, this is how we break down the fundamentals of what trauma is and how to treat your trauma. We break down what are adverse childhood experiences, which is trauma that you experience while you're a child. And then we break down what toxic stress is, which is the more traditional term for the medical term trauma. So trauma is basically toxic stress. And then we also define and help you understand what resiliency is, which is what happens when you turn, when you dictate what happens with that trauma or that toxic stress in a productive way. It turns into what you call resiliency. It makes you more durable. It makes you more conditioned, not numb. We don't want to be numb to violence and trauma and crime. We want to be conditioned. Conditions mean that we're equipped to deal with it. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that's what as we treat our trauma and heal our brain, we will become more resilient. You understand? That's why athletes, celebrities, and those that make it, a lot of them came from tough situations because when somehow, in most cases through religion and spirituality, they were equipped with the tools to treat their trauma and persevere. And that turned into resiliency, that turns into great talent. You know, I like Lil Baby said, down to my lowest, I turned to a poet. He's one of the, if not the hottest rappers out right now. And that's like a bar that speaks to the power of treating your trauma. You know, down to his lowest, what he did with that energy, he put it into music. He said he turned to a poet. And now we are all witnesses of what that turned out to, just to give a fine example of the proof of that power. Brain health assessment. You know, this includes your self-care planning and mental health safety plan. As you can see, it's a link right there. That link, we will be sending that out all across the city. Again, so that everyone has a smoke detector, like everyone has whatever they need for their health. You understand? Everyone needs to fill out a self-care plan, and it's our priority initiative to educate everybody on what a self-care plan is, to help them get it filled out, and to make it available to the first responders that will be providing the thorough support to help us deal with crises and issues when they arise. Our training also includes a brain story or a brain health certification program. So, we're going to give you as many certs that we can possibly give you during our training. Through our training and building with us, as you'll hear more about, you're going to get CPR training and all that too. But that cert that I was just mentioning, let me go back. The brain story certification is an online course that basically our participants will take and have them, certified in their knowledge of brain health and function. And it's also free and available for anybody to take, even outside of our training. Our training is a collection of trainings of curriculums that we develop, and also free resources, and even some paid that we have vetted and approve of to be essential to the cultural reset, of our community. One of the first professional development trainings that we will be watching a video of today before we get out is our confidence masterclass. So a big part of why we have so many conflicts and issues is insecurity, right? And that, or low self-esteem. So, without, full transparency, the reason why I knew we needed to build self-esteem, but I know saying somebody got low self-esteem is triggering. People may not be able to receive that correction. And what God had blessed me to find is this confidence masterclass. So we're building confidence, which is what? Building self-esteem, right? But confidence is such a better term that people will be more invested in. And this confidence masterclass, again, is a free resource by Dr. Roy Narain. He teaches you how to to build confidence and be a confident manager at a business. He's also a doctor, but this is one of his, other ways of serving. He does little tutorials and teaching courses. So this master class is going to teach you how to be effective in communicating as a supervisor at a business. And the same skills are transferable to help build self-esteem and help people communicate. So as we deal with that poor communication and miscommunication, this confidence masterclass is going to be essential at establishing quality communication. So that's one of the initial courses that, you will be exposed to equip you to provide security for Philly. This is the list of some of the ongoing training that is included in our training. You already heard about the brain story certification, which is where you learn the scientific underpinnings of the brain story from leading experts and be eligible, and even eligible for credits for people that are students. In the restorative justice training, shout out Reverend Donna and Restorative Cities Initiative. This is a system of criminal justice which focuses on the rehabilitation of offenders and people through reconciliation with victims in the community at large. So, and it's going to be our community justice system. Whenever you have any conflict, you can resolve them through a restorative circle. So you'll be not only trained in how to use that, but they'll be trained in how to lead those circles, which comes with compensation opportunities, both through Life Outside the Streets and other community partners such as restorative justice initiatives. Physical training. We are going to provide self-defense training, basic police and basic military training, for all those that are interested, but most certainly for those that are interested in a career path, in a pipeline path to a career in security and protection. So we are going to provide training in the physical aspect. However, we're leading training in, building the mental aspect, as it relates to security. Special training that we'll be includes first aid and CPR. Mental health first aid is a certain another certification that individuals will have. They will be trained in crisis and mental crisis management when they're to deal with a crisis when there's a mental health issue or brain health issue, suicide management. You'll be trained in the stages of grief to help provide support when they're dealing with loss, not just the loss of the loved one. Loss is loss. It could be the loss of a school you was going to, loss of a home, loss of a dog, loss of anything. Grief, it doesn't matter what causes grief, but the way that we treat and deal with it and understand it is what matters the most, because that's what's going to best equip us. And then also sex education, and it's not on here, but healthy relationships education. Both young and old, is not just kids, that a lot of the conflicts and violence and destruction and even addiction is rooted in broken relationships and unhealthy relationships and unhealthy ways of dealing with them. So we're going to make sure we cover and we train, our professionals and the communities we serve with this knowledge, because again, this is what it's going to take to reset our culture. We don't do better because we don't know better. And then we're not the organization, just to point that out to you, we're the organization that provides you with instruction so that you can, we're not going to direct you, we're going to instruct you, support you, and train you so it's sustainable for you. Project management. This is how we teach entrepreneurship, and leadership as well. It's this text is wrong, but we have a Hope with Love campaign. I think it's the next flyer. So we have a Hope with Love campaign where basically we are organizing and doing a drive to provide a Hope with Love gift for every homicide that has happened in the past 3 years. I started this in the first year and it's 3 years because I didn't get it rolled out. So I'm still going to cover that first year where God laid it on my heart, the next year and this current year. So for every homicide, we're going to create a Hope with Love gift that includes a journal or whatever they have on their not whatever, but items off of their self-care plan that they have identified as effective with helping them treat their trauma. So we're going to all introduce ourselves to them with this gift, and we're going to provide them with a gift of hope and love and therapeutic resources every month for the next 12 months to encourage them to use these resources of treating their trauma and to check in with them. All too often right now, the system of response to trauma is, here's a flyer, get you some counseling, and call us when you're ready. A person that has been through trauma may not ever be ready. You understand? So agencies should really be proactive in checking in and following up with those that are in need versus sitting at an office waiting to be called. So that's where this Hope with Love campaign, in that, because we fundraise and we organize, in that we teach not just the Security for Philly, but our volunteers and our partners entrepreneurship through this vehicle and through project management, because everybody needs to know how to manage a project. Even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, it's going to make you more effective at just running your household and your community. So so not only we didn't just want to focus on the give back that comes from it, because everything is about instruction with us. We want to teach you how to fish so that you can fish. You understand? We don't just want you getting what you need and rolling out and keep coming back. We want you to join us in serving. You understand what I'm talking about? And that's really it for the for the Security for Philly presentation. We work as one. We always on. Treat your trauma. Are there any questions or concerns or feedback that anybody would like to share right now?
Me personally, I think we hit all the marks. I think we got it. You know what I mean? You said you recorded this, we got it on, we could send it out, let everybody know exactly what we about. We get feedback from there and we know where to go from there. But honestly, like I said, I think you hit all bases.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Steve, Dr. Payne.
Yeah, I think that it's all inclusive. It's encompassing. It's everything that's necessary that's been missing. You managed to put it all in a very thoroughly thought out presentation, and I'm excited about working with you because this is what it's all about. For what we don't have, you fill in. For what you don't have, you fill in. And that's just how this whole thing is going to get done.
I appreciate you, bro. Listen, and last but not least, I want to just share 2 videos with you guys. And 3 videos if you got the time. They're short. They're all about 3 or 4 minutes apiece. I'm gonna run through them to catch it on a recording, but just so you know, this is the conclusion of it after these 3 videos. If you can stay for them, and this will give you a little snapshot of what we will be sharing with what people will be learning from training. I'm going to start with the brain architecture. So we're going to watch a brain architecture video. We're going to watch a resiliency video. These are the actual videos that are part of the training. And then we're going to watch one confidence video, one confidence development video from the master class. And I'm going to let you brothers go for now. Can y'all see? Can y'all see and hear that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, let's go.
Modern science now tells us a great deal about how brains are built in childhood. Did you know that early childhood experiences actually change our brains in ways that affect our health throughout our lives?
We have a very kind of rich and rapidly growing science about early childhood development, and particularly how early experiences affect long-term outcomes in learning as well as physical and mental health. And we also have a huge amount of new research that is helping us understand how adversity early in life, and particularly the toxic stress that young children can experience, gets into the body and actually affects the developing architecture of the brain.
So experiences we have in our earliest years affect how our brains get built. That's important because the basic structures we develop as infants lay the foundation for more complex structures that develop as we grow. Just as a house needs a sturdy foundation to support the walls and roof, a brain needs a good base to support all future development. Positive interactions between young children and their caregivers literally build the architecture of the developing brain to provide a sturdy base for a lifetime of better health. On the other hand, if a child experiences a pileup of negative experiences, such as abuse or neglect, and if no caregiver is there to provide support, a sturdy brain foundation may never develop. That can lead to lifelong learning difficulties and health problems, including addiction and mental illness.
It affects the cardiovascular system, it affects the immune system. And so what this science is telling us is that we ignore the early years at our peril.
It's amazing to think that the experiences we have in our earliest years can affect our health for a lifetime. Since strong societies are made up of healthy individuals, it's up to us as a community to make sure all kids have the kinds of nurturing experiences they need to build healthy brains and bodies.
So yes, so that video was on brain architecture, and it basically, breaks down, the impact of brain architecture and the importance of establishing in our childhood. And when you look at, what it says that is detrimental is basically a community norm, abuse, violence, destruction, poverty. So, there's nobody exempt from brain damage. This is science. The science says, our loved ones are dealing with brain damage, that can't function right. And I'm just so happy that we have identified, that these professionals have put together the media and the message in a way that is short and right to the point. So one of the things that stuck out to me about this is them highlighting how it impacts the immune system and the cardiovascular system. That you'll be getting more, and they'll learn more and more proof of the science behind how toxic stress is the driving factor behind all the illnesses and the things that plagues our community. And the great news is that treating our trauma is the antidote. So, although it's going to be a little saddening and depressing to realize, how we got here, but we're going to be able to celebrate right away on how we navigating from here. Any feedback on that video before I play the next one?
That was good information.
Cool. So this next one really gets into the solution more in depth on this brain health video. I really like this one. So it's a little longer, but it's worth it.
Brains. They are everywhere. In the world's gentlest places and its harshest. In this unforgiving environment, some brains exhibit troubling signs. Addiction, illness, depression, social disorder. Yet others thrive. Why have some brains developed the ability to cope in harsh conditions while others struggle? It is one of nature's great secrets.
Hi. Hello? This is amazing. But I just need to clarify a few things. This great secret? It's actually science. Severe adversity isn't good for any brain. But it is true that some brains do better than others in the face of significant challenges.
Oh, a scientist. Yes, I agree. This is a great secret of science.
Great, yes, but not a secret. Let me explain. We're born with brains, but our brains change as we grow. They develop based on experiences we have, and different brains respond to experiences in different ways. Okay, thanks. I'll let you get back to it.
Indeed. Some brains show robustity and strongitude, while others...
Sorry, we scientists use the word resilience. Some brains are more resilient than others.
Yes, resiliensis.
Resilience?
Resilience. Revenge of the cortex.
Resilience is a result of the interplay between genes and life experiences. It's a brain's ability to maintain good functioning under adversity.
Resilience makes us invincible.
Nothing makes us invincible. What resilience does is to give less leverage to negative factors in our lives and tip the balance in favor of positive outcomes.
Resilience. Fate's legendary prize.
Whoa, no! Some people are born with more resilience than others, but resilience can also be built over time. It's a big project involving parents, caregivers, teachers,
kith, kin, karaoke comrades,
soccer coaches, counselors,
pastry chefs, associate producers, even millennials, like a barn raising in times of old.
Yeah. In fact, we scientists believe strong brain architecture is the foundation for resilience. And, look over there.
Oh, yes. A young brain returns after months of isolation and adversity. No words can describe what this poor brain has suffered.
There are words that describe it. We scientists call it toxic stress.
Toxic stress lies in wait.
No, that's not. No. Stress happens inside the body. It's the fight or flight system kicking in. But if stress hormones are elevated too high and for too long, it can have negative effects on the brain and body.
Stress, a nasty poison.
Not all stress, just toxic stress. With the right supports, we can make severe stress tolerable, which means it won't do lasting damage. Stress can even be positive because it helps us to learn problem solving and coping skills, which leads us back to resilience.
Alas, this brain is resilience-less.
No, it isn't. Let me explain. Remember when I talked about giving less leverage to negative experiences and tipping the scale in a positive direction? Well, here's a little something I've been working on. It's a really amazing metaphor. Here goes. I call it the resilience scale.
Resilience scales. Protective armor plates that
shiny. But no. The resilience scale helps us understand why some brains are more resilient than others.
The resilience scale sends out invisible resilience rays that's
really just a scale. See? It's a beam being held up by a fulcrum.
Full of crumbs?
Geez, no! A fulcrum. You know, like high school Never mind. Let me just clean this up. See, negative experiences add weight to one end of the beam, and positive factors add weight to the other end. Ideally, we want the scale to tip toward the positive side and lead towards positive life outcomes.
The brain's future literally hangs in the balance.
The position of the fulcrum can be understood as our original capacity for resilience. It's something like our genetic starting position. Remember the young brain that was struggling to survive? Look, it started life with the fulcrum off-center, giving more leverage to negative experiences. Serious stuff, like abuse, neglect, and chaotic environments. That means positive factors like responsive relationships, safe environments, and learning opportunities had less leverage. Over time, the negative load shifted the fulcrum even farther in a negative direction.
Tragedy.
Not at all. Right now, this brain is experiencing poor health. But with help, the scale can be tipped toward more positive outcomes. The first thing we can do is to stop negative experiences from stacking up. Then, we can add more positive factors, loading up the positive side of the scale. And we're not done. We can work to shift the fulcrum in a way that favors positive outcomes.
The fulcrum, an amazing instant fix-it button.
No, it's a process. It involves many supportive people and plenty of time. Remember? This brain is still young, so adult brains can work with it to relieve toxic stress and teach coping skills. In early childhood, these efforts can push the fulcrum a considerable distance.
Childhood, filled with fascination and fulcrum flexibility.
Sort of, but there are other sensitive developmental periods that are windows of opportunity, like adolescence. And even if this brain doesn't get help until adulthood, change is still possible. It will take more support, and the change will be less dramatic. But any fulcrum can be moved to make positive outcomes more achievable.
The bad experiences disappear.
I'm afraid not. It's hard to undo the effects of past negative experiences, and it takes time. But we can eventually relieve the burden of those negative experiences. Our little brain can get the help it needs to adapt, recover, and enjoy good health and wellness.
And everyone, everywhere can become more resilient for eternity.
Why not? With the right support, everyone everywhere can become more resilient.
I'm so glad I saved humanity. It's been a majestic experience.
Yeah, me too. Well done.
I definitely want to speak on that one. And that right there lets you know why communication is very important right there. Because we've been born in these traumatizing situations where all we see is negative, which is deforming our brain or killing our resilienceness. And we have to choose and pick who we're going to have around our kids, especially teaching them in the schools and things like that, because ultimately those people that we have teaching them might not have no resilience, might be still fighting that fight themselves. So they are unintentionally putting more negativity on the children, which is killing their resilience even more. And just like the video said, to start building resilience, you need people around them, supporting them, teaching them knowledge, and giving them positivity. I definitely like that video. That was a great video. Great.
Thanks for that, bro. I appreciate it. Steve?
Yo, Jan, you got a complete package, man. You gotta, you know,
We got.
I'm sorry. I see why when we first started, you said, yo, you had it out in orbit right now. You're not even on this planet. You know, you gone for real. Like that information right there is changing of everything, life, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything. Everything it touches everything.
I appreciate that, bro. The thing I appreciate the most about that, John, though, is listen, I appreciate, because you know, they be like, well, everybody in Philly ain't doing violence. They both grew up in the same household. How come this one like this and that one? That fulcrum explanation of saying scientifically that, because now that it provides clarity on why some people are able to take heed to a message and turning around and why others can't scientifically. Because we've been beating up on people thinking that, hey, they just don't want it. No, maybe they fulcrum is where it's at. Because we're not assessing and looking at brain health, we're not doing a fair evaluation, and we're often making matters worse, because now when you have a person that is dealing with poor health and you're basically criticizing them and making them punishing them for not having a healthy brain, what is that going to do? That's going to make the brain even worse. What do we have right now? We have the prison system. What do you think that's doing to the brain? Looking at the science. And the sad part about it is every politician, every doctor, every social servant knows this information. That's negligence at its highest. So they better get it together. You understand what I'm talking about? But the good news is we have the solution, and we're going to share it with our people. And when they find out, they better thank God we got the solution, because as what people realize that every life that has been lost could have been prevented, they're going to be hot. And they're going to recognize who the real issue is. And it ain't going to be their neighbor. It ain't going to be the person that they beefing with. The parents is going to be finally equipped with to say, oh, I know that such and such did such and such, but now we know why we've been sabotaged, and these professionals we've been paying have been establishing a system that keeps this brain damage going. So we're going to turn our energy over here. You understand? And that's where we're going with this thing. I want to share with y'all the confidence building class, the one video from the curriculum around building confidence. And I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Hold on, this is why I get that.
Well, if you give me a new phone, then I'm supposed to be happy with the old phone. I learn how to work at it. I know. It took me 2 years to figure out how to work it, but.
Hey Mike, did it start snowing yet? Yeah.
No, I ain't see no snow on this end. I ain't see no snow on this end. Yeah, it was raining a little bit, but I ain't see no snow, thank God.
No, it's snowing down here. I just wiped some out my car.
Where I'm
It's snowing.
all right, yeah, we going oh shoot, I might have to get in my other John. Hold up. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all time, man. Y'all brothers coming on here, man. You know, this is a big problem. You know, big issue is not something you could just get done in a 30-minute, you know what I mean, in a quick Zoom, you know, but I hope that this, you know, was productive and fruitful in showing the true action plan that we have, and giving people the hope and confidence that they need to move forward. You understand? Because it is an answer. You know, there's the science. When I say there's a reason, an explanation for the violence and the solution, and those two videos is right there. You know what I mean? You know, people talking about there's no solution. We don't know where it's coming from. If you go to the CDC website and you look up violence prevention, all that same science is going to pop up. Why they are intentionally not, you know, sharing it and campaigning it like they did COVID, I'm not going to say I don't know. I know exactly why, because they want the violence to continue. And unfortunately for them, the Lord has equipped us to end it. So, you know, it is on and popping.
Yeah, and on that note, just you telling me, that's the first time I ever heard that knowledge. And just to know that the top people know that knowledge, but still neglect it and still look at prison systems and juvenile systems as the answer, when you know damn well that's still negativity, which is going to keep pressing them more to the negative side, keep killing their resilience. And like you said, once we get that information out to the parents and things, that everybody is well understood on that, they're going to know who they're looking at now. They're going to know who they're looking at. And like the other brother said, when we first started this meeting, we can't do things the traditional way. We can't change things the traditional way. It's time to do what we need to be, what we need to do, what needs to be done. Not, oh, let's do it to this extent because this person said we had to stop here, or let's do it to that extent because these person said we had to stop here. We all know now these people know exactly what needs to be done, but they're not doing it. So listen to them or listening to them, but complaining about them is nothing because it's really you doing the same thing they doing. Having the information, but not doing nothing about it because somebody told you not to do nothing about it or because you just don't want to do nothing about it.
Right, or you scared, you know what I mean? And that's what God brought us together. So spoken so well, bro. I appreciate you. This last video, man, is 4 minutes and 28 seconds. We're gonna watch it and we're gonna chime in, and that's gonna be it. This is a snapshot though, bro. This is what I have for the men, for the women, for our community. I hope it's approved by my guide, as you already approved it. And this is what we're going to be rolling out and, diving more into, this is the commercial. Moving forward, we getting into the training. If you want to get bored up to speed, you're going to have to go back. They're going to have to go back and watch this. You feel me? We ain't going back over it. You better go get it from here. So without further ado, check my man out, man.
One of the most important attributes of a good manager is the ability to create a good first impression and leave a positive impact on the audience, on his workers. People usually
All right, I'm about to try to reshare the screen again. Hold on. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I see it now.
All right.
Yeah, I can see it.
Hey, Tony, what's going on? I'm giving you the love. I'm on a live Zoom right now with the community. I love you. You all right? No, you good. No, here go love right here. Hold on. Sorry about that. All right, yep. Sorry about that, folks. That was just a live call from mommy, from my daughter to our daughter. But we're gonna get into this video. The first impression, this is video 1 of the Master Confidence class. Can you hear it? Can y'all hear it?
One of the most important attributes of a good manager is the ability to create a good first impression and leave a positive impact on the audience, on his workers. People usually formulate around 90% of their opinion of you during the first few minutes of the encounter, and you may not get a second chance to show them what a nice and friendly person you are deep inside. In fact, you may have to try umpteen times before they forgive you and change the first perception of you. Now, the first impression is usually based on the way you dress and carry yourself. So let's consider a situation in the company. Let's say you have a very important meeting with top management or with your customers, or you are supposed to conduct a presentation. Well, it is obvious that you have to be impeccably dressed, because when you're dressed this way, you look good. And when you look good, you feel confident, and you are in a position to convey your message properly. You are in a position to captivate the audience. In normal everyday situations in the company, it suffices for you to be well dressed. I mean, you don't have to be impeccably dressed in this case. Let's say, for example, you're going for a company barbecue. You don't want to go there in your suit. The most important thing is that you are clean, you are neat, and you are well groomed. Because when you dress like this, you feel good, and your nonverbal and verbal signals will captivate the people with whom you are interacting. And one more thing, when you are well dressed, you feel confident, like I said. But of course, when you feel confident, you will adopt the right posture. You will stand tall. Your head will be held high. Your shoulders will be straightened. And when you walk with an aim. When people observe you, they will notice that you're walking with an intention, as if you had something to fulfill. That is how good managers walk. So they create the first impression, they stand and they walk in a good way, in a way that will attract people's attention. Now, there is one more thing that has an essential role in creating that first impression, and it is a genuine smile. Now, when you smile genuinely, you come across as being strong and confident, trustworthy, sincere, and friendly. And that is the kind of person with whom people would like to interact. The thing is that you have this genuine smile reserved for special situations, for special people, for your friends, for example. And it's reserved for these people because you feel good in their company, you feel at ease, you're attracted to them. But how can you generate this genuine smile when you have to interact with strangers, or when you have to meet very important customers, or when you have to conduct a presentation? Now let me tell you what you can do. First of all, before this particular meeting, you need to envision in your mind's eye all the good things related to that particular meeting. All the good things, all the positive things, all the pleasure you can get from that meeting, all the benefits you can get from that meeting. Think about all the good faces there. Only concentrate on positive things. If you do so, your brain will now link the meeting to pleasure. And once it does that, the genuine smile will be evoked very, very quickly. Now, the beautiful thing about a genuine smile is that it comes a split second after you have laid eyes on the person with whom you are interacting. If this happens, they will realize that it's reserved for them because it comes after you recognize with whom you're interacting. The artificial smile, on the other hand, comes a bit too quickly. It appears and it's plastered on their face, and it comes even before they realize with whom they are talking.
So that's it. That's it. That's the first video of the Master Confidence class. And one of the key takeaways that I really appreciate from that one is how to generate a genuine smile. I think that's very essential to, and he even mentioned, this is important on how to communicate with strangers, which is, a key role in what security would be doing. And it's important for them to know how to communicate that proper energy when interacting with strangers. So that's why this component is essential. However, he so eloquently taught us how to generate a genuine smile. And whenever, as it relates to conflict resolution, training and teaching people on how to connect their brain to the goodness out of a situation is the essence of what's going to, really help transform and reprogram. That's not dismissing the negative components about people, but it's equipping us on how to best communicate, advocate for ourselves, make our complaint, and do it in a way that disarms the person that we're talking to. When I'm coming with a smile and great energy to talk to you about how you did something wrong to me, I put the ball in my court by coming with that smile and that great energy, and it kind of locks you in to kind of be receptive. Even if you start with your wall up, it's going to come down. You understand? Because love and good energy and smiles are contagious. So as we equip all of us to communicate in that way, that's how we deal with that effective communication. So I guess my question to you guys is, any takeaways, and do you believe that this is something that should remain and be effective in our goal of accomplishing security for Philly?
Yeah, that skill is definitely important. Is necessary. It kind of gave me confirmation that I'm on the right track because everything that he said, I kind of already had to you know, I guess just through experiences, I was able to develop that. But just hearing it, put out, and it's like, okay, well, that's a good practice then.
Thanks for that. And now to know how to teach it though, you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You see,
yeah,
like, and
that's
that's
true.
like, because it's like there's solutions to everything that's going on. What has been missing is the formal training or to providing the formal training at an accessible rate and collectively. As you can see, instead of sending you over there for this and that, no, we got it all in one. You understand? Here, all in one training, everything that you need. We're not gonna play no games with that. Sean.
Yeah, on that, just like you said, that actually gave me a confirmation on, how I went about certain things and how I was handling certain things. It was the right way. That showed some characteristics I had. And like I said, I'm young and I'm from the streets, so that was one of the main things that helped me keep influence over my block, run my block, keep influence over my young boys, because they would get me for certain situations because of how I would handle them. And just like you said, now we can teach that, because I couldn't teach that. I didn't know how to teach that to my younger men that was under me in the streets. So it was always like, oh man, I will have to be there to handle the situation, rather than being able to teach them. Then there won't be no conflicts and I don't have to worry, and they don't even have to come get me for every situation. Well, yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
Well, thanks, man. That's it, gentlemen. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the overview. That's the rally for security. This is the call to action. This is the official introduction of security for Philly. This is what we're rolling out. This ain't even an ask on if you think it's gonna work, because we're pushing God's agenda, which is our agenda. You know what I mean? What side of that you land on, is what am I doing? What am I doing? Talking. My daughter's trying to ask me something while I'm talking to y'all in the middle of it. You understand me? I'll be right with you. And is it emergency? All right. Yeah, we're equipped. I kind of lost my thought, but it's all good, man. I said enough today. Oh no, I was just saying this is happening, and those that want to live like this. We're not bringing to the listener. If you care about your child that is out here in the trenches, if you care about your friend, if you care about that person that's in the beef that feel like they got to use a gun, we're not telling them to put their gun down. We're saying, give us a chance to equip you with the tools to resolve conflict without violence, and to even be more effective at using violence. We're going to train people in shooting. We're going to train you in physical self-defense. We're going to train you in all the essential skills that you need to protect yourself. However, the main thing is we're going to train you how to prevent things from escalating so that you only have to resort to the violence in the worst case scenario. Us resulting to violence needs to be, is really a failure of our system. So, when that happens, we're going to revise that and strengthen that. But we don't want that failure to fall on the individual. You understand? Right now, individuals are not equipped, and there's not a system in place that doesn't require, that doesn't leave people with violence as the only solution. Right now, we live in a community with all the violence. How are you going to resolve it? If Reverend Donna and Restorative Justice Cities didn't come up and bring restorative circles to our community, how you expect? But everybody wants somebody to be held accountable for something that has been done to them. And right now, and just like America was established, it's the Wild Wild West. Oh, you using a pistol? I'm gonna get a pistol. You know what I mean? That is our history. But what happened was we evolved on how well we could communicate, and we didn't have to have standoffs so much. We're back to the standoff place because we know our education system is broke. You know what I mean? And not even that is broken. Those of us that's on this line, those of us that get it, those of us that know God, we have neglected our responsibilities and going out our way to teach those that don't know, and standing on the sideline complaining about the devils that we have left to instruct our village. You understand? And those days are over. We are sincerely apologetic for taking this long to step in, to walk in our greatness. You understand? We are sincerely apologetic, for that to the community. This is to you, and we're here to make it right. As men of God, we are here to make our neglect and our disobedience correct by now teaching and leading. That's Security for Philly. It's your main man, CEO Jan Mckay. Do y'all brothers got any messages that you want to send out directly to those that need to hear it? We talking about the individual that feel like resorting to violence and drugs is the only solution to deal with their pain and their issues. What do you have to say to them as we close this thing out?
I want to say, as the burning boats, we take that responsibility. We're going to take that responsibility to make sure our people is cool, and that's all of our people. We're going to take that on our shoulder when the next young boy, we're going to take the burden on our shoulder when the next young brother dies or whoever dies. We're going to take that on our shoulder when we keep seeing misinformation and things like that. We're going to take all that burden, and we're going to keep striving and striving and striving, because there's no turning back. The boats is burned. We're going to keep striving until we succeed. So don't feel alone. Don't feel by yourself. Whenever you feel like that, just reach out. We're here, and we want you to know we're here, and we're going to keep spreading the word until everyone knows we're here.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Sean. That's good. That's encouraging to see you at your age that you got that much foresight and wisdom that people in their 50s don't even have. As far as feeling as though they have a part in the role to play in turning things around. But I just wanted to say that we are interconnected, and we're interlocked in with making the resources accessible and visible to those that, because they exist, people just don't know that they're there. So that's part of the biggest problem that we experience. And it's not like it's not a lack of funding, or everything we need is right there. So now it's just a matter of bridging that gap, and that's what we intend to do, and we're going to do this together.
Amen, amen, man. And the last thing I want to say to the community, to the people that to the people that care about the shooter and the individuals that we now know are dealing with poor health, you understand, as it relates to their brain, is call us, call me, Jan Mckay, Instagram. Here's my number, 267-428-6324. Until we get our official hotline, use the Philly Truce app. Reach out to us if you want a way out. There is a way out. We will expedite, give you private training conversations that you don't have to. If you in fear, you in beef, you want to get out of it, you don't know how, we can tell you how. We ain't going out there and going being vigilantes and running down on nobody. No, we're going to equip you, give you some resources, and communicate and advocate and resolve this in a way that you're safe and others safe. There's a way out. It's an army out here for you. Right now, it just looks like a Zoom. Right now, it just looks like a soundbite or message, however you're seeing this message online. However, in the weeks to come, you're going to see boots on the ground. You're going to see Security for Philly posters everywhere. You're going to see us everywhere, and you're going to feel confident that you're protected, because everybody, you're going to see who endorsing this message. And that's all. I know why you're waiting. So I'm telling you, wait no more. Wait no more. Come to us now. You understand? Like Booth said, Van didn't have to die. Nobody has to die. Nobody has to die today or tomorrow. Call us. Call me. I'm telling you. We'll keep you safe until it is safe. You understand what I'm talking about? We're not going to stop at that. And to the person that's like, ain't nobody trying to hear that, I'm going to get my lick back and all that, we're going to continue to pray for you. You understand? And we meet you with love and hope. It's more. Live for that person that you're trying to take vengeance for. Let God take vengeance for you. You know what I mean? Don't do it at the expense of your life and your time and the loved ones that you're going to leave behind. Because just like you feel and you're riding for that loved one that was hurt, that you already lost, don't pass that on to your kids and to the people that's that's going to be left behind if you get booked or locked. Let's break the cycle right here. You understand? Let's break the cycle right here. The strongest person is the person that's going to take a stand and say, you know what? This is right here. You understand? You took my man out, and I wanted to get my lick back, but you know what? I'm gonna get my lick back by living. I'm gonna get my lick back by being the bigger person, by being the strongest person in this situation. You understand? By ending it here, because at the end of the day, we were all sabotaged into going at each other. We were all sabotaged. It might have came out of a real dispute ultimately, but this mindset and this destruction and this ideology of attacking each other to deal with our conflicts was planted in us. We were sabotaged into this mindset, and that's why we're here to reprogram and to restore, not reprogram, to restore God's programming of our mindset. You understand? So that we can live productively, healthy, peaceful lives. So, keep hope alive. I say to that person, man, give us a shot. Give us a shot. I can't stop you from getting your lick back, but consider a more fruitful way for you and your generations and anybody or anything that you care about that will be left behind. Consider them and give us a chance. That's all I say. You know what I mean? And we meet with love. We come with love. We ain't coming to bully nobody and tell nobody what they can and can't do. You're going to live what you do and what you do. Is between you and God as far as we concerned. You understand? Like the consequences of that. We ain't really too concerned about the worldly consequences. God, this is happening. We're creating a space where we're going to be safe. And we're going to protect that by all means. Believe that. You understand? So if you are tired of living on the run and beefing back and forth, there is a real way to get it done. And if you care about that individual, because it's going to be their support system that get this message first 9 times out of 10. We need you to make sure you bring them to us. Sit them down and watch this video with them. Don't just tell them they should check us out. Make sure they check us out. Make sure we find out who they are. Because it's going to be you. It's the support system that's going to get this message. We need you to pass it along or bring them to us, please. That's our plea. That's our ask. Mckay, Security for Philly, Burning Boats, Philly Truce. I'm a member of any and everything and everybody that you see me bring up on any platform. I'm a member. I ain't just no partner. We are one. We are one. This is the true essence of unity that you're witnessing and you're joining when you get down with us. Burn them boats and let's heal Philly, man. That's our new sign off. You know what I mean? One of the boats is burnt. You know what I mean? It's sign off for, all right, bro, let's heal Philly. And we signing off, man. That's the move right there.
Burn them boots.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you too, man.
All right. Thanks,
Y'all have a blessed day, man.
All right,
let's heal Philly.
Okay.
You too, bro.